There will be hearings later today for 3 people who are all in custody of the Department of Health and Human Services and have filed petitions for modified release. All 3 were involved in separate homicides and were found not criminally responsible by reason of insanity. They are Justin Butterfield, Susan Kokanowski-Bonner, and Heidi Tasker. Butterfield was arrested in Poland for the killing of his brother, Gabriel Dammer, on Thanksgiving Day in 2022. A psychologist testified ongoing mental illness prevented him from understanding the severity of his actions. Kokanowski-Bonner was charged with manslaughter after police say she set a fire that killed her boyfriend, Jason Donahue, and destroyed a block of buildings in Caribou in 2023. And then Heidi Tasker was charged with murdering her boyfriend, Luke Norris, by stabbing him to death in their home in Etna. Police and a psychiatrist said Tasker told them spirits had instructed her to kill Norris in order to protect her family. Those hearings start at 8:30 this morning in Augusta.
A woman is dead and a child is recovering from injuries this morning after a tree crashed into the car they were in during yesterday's storms. Penobscot County Sheriff Troy Morton says the woman was driving with 2 children in the vehicle going north on Route 15. A tree broke apart in the storm and crashed into the windshield, killing her. And then the car kept going until another driver stopped it. One of the children was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. The other was not physically hurt.
The town of Camden has appointed a new police chief after months of searching for a permanent leader. Alan Weaver Jr. is stepping into the role with 23 years of law enforcement experience. Weaver previously served with the Camden Police Department as a patrol officer and sergeant. His appointment comes after a vote in June. Camden voters overwhelmingly supported keeping a town-operated police department and a full-time police chief.
Being here for 23 years, this community has supported the police department nonstop. I mean, one of the greatest communities to work in law enforcement. You know, being out on the street, doing foot patrols, I talk to people every day, and, you know, it's just, Camden, I believe, is one of the finest communities to serve, just far and wide.
Weaver says in his new role he plans to stabilize the police department by adding a new patrol officer and expanding community policing efforts.
While there are still a number of candidates trying to secure the Democratic nomination to run for U.S. Senate, one is announcing that she has withdrawn, and that is Paige Loud, who had run in the District 2 congressional primary and was planning to run in the Senate race. But in a statement, she said she can no longer participate in a process that has, quote, turned into a deeply unserious spectacle, end quote. Loud goes on to say that she will focus on immediate issues like getting ICE out of Maine and securing health care for all.
As part of the process to elect a new Democratic Senate nominee, 500 delegates from across Maine will be selected this weekend to represent each county at the upcoming nomination convention. According to the Democratic State Committee, registered Democrats will be able to vote for their preferred delegates at a meeting held by their county's Democratic Committee. The delegates will then be elected based on who has the highest number of votes, going down the list until each county has their allocated number of delegate slots filled. Some meetings will be in person, while others will be virtual, but state committee chairs say the shared goal is to be as transparent as possible.
The intention from the very, very beginning was to craft a process that is open, that is inclusive, that allows for many people to be involved.
They will come away feeling like they had, important participation in this process, and it's really unprecedented. So it was uncharted territory, but I think we've done a really good job.
Last night, the Maine Democratic Party also announced they are expanding the online pre-meeting verification. They say any Democrat who has not been pre-verified will still be able to become verified and participate in electronic voting at their county's delegate nominating meeting this weekend. Information on the time and location of each county's delegate meeting can be found on the Democratic State Committee's website. Governor Mills has her final opioid response summit.
And while people came together at the summit to recognize the progress that's been made, they say there is still more work that needs to be done. And News Center Maine's Akua Deval has the details.
It's a room full of stories.
However, we stand here today and we speak about our sons' lives.
Of loss, struggles, and recovery.
These people in this room were part of the solution to some of these incredible problems. and they know how to create community even in difficult times.
Thursday's gathering inside the Cross Insurance Center marks Governor Janet Mills' 8th and final opioid response summit, bringing together state leaders, healthcare workers, and people with lived experience.
I've been in recovery for 7 years, so I was secretly using heroin and trying to stop by myself and not able to.
Advocate Alan Burgess says one of the biggest challenges during his recovery was access to care living in a rural area.
When I was looking for recovery in Piscataquis County, in Guilford and Sangerville, Maine, there was none. I hadn't even heard of it, and I had no idea how to find it.
Governor Mills' director of opioid response, Gordon Smith, says stories like Burgess's shows why gatherings like this matter.
We haven't walked in their shoes, but so many people now are willing to tell their story so we can say, oh, that's why this person struggled.
According to the Maine CDC, fatal overdoses dropped 20% last year, but Smith says the decline isn't a reason to slow down.
It's really not about the governor and I. It's really about the people in this room and the people in recovery. And people are recovering out loud.
We need to remain hopeful that we can continue this, that people in recovery continue to show up and get to recover out loud.
The summit's theme centers on hope, recognizing the progress made and the work still ahead.
I'm really hoping for today is that people will leave here and be more hopeful, and that they will hopefully, we will pass the torch to a group of people that will continue another 8 summits.
What's going on?
Proving while the summit may be ending, leaders say the work and the hope for recovery continues. In Bangor, Akua Deval, News Center, Maine.